Hey everybody, it's Lainey Lipsky, and I am here to speak with you for a few minutes about parenting. And the topic that I want to talk about today is actually something I was just chatting with my group about nagging. Nagging means repeating yourself, like again and again and again and again and again until you feel like a broken record and you feel like you are either crazy or your kid is crazy or you're all crazy. And the thing about repeating and nagging is that repeating is repeating yourself, and nagging is a little different in that you're like, will you there's an element of repeating and nagging, but nagging is like you're on top of somebody, like do this, do this, do this, do this, nagging them to do it, right? It's like it's a real, like, look at my face when I'm saying it's this real, like, quality. Nobody wants to be a nag, and nobody wants to be repeating themselves 1,000 times, because it's a sign of feeling disrespected, and it's a sign of being not listened to. And as a parent, of course, we want to be listened to. And if you've ever been anywhere else where you are, working with adults or in any kind of friendship situation, you don't have to repeat yourself 1,000 times to be heard or be respected. And if you are in a relationship like that, then you get out of it typically. You're like, nobody respects me, nobody's listening, I'm out, right? And with parenting, you can't do that. You can't just be like, peace out, everybody, I'm not going to be mom anymore. I quit as mom because y'all aren't listening to me, right? It doesn't work like that. So there's a cycle here that has to be broken. And I want to help you out with something today. I want to help you break that cycle, because it's one of the big, I don't know, 3 issues that certainly in the top 10, probably in the top, I'll put it in the top 5. The repeating is something that parents tell me all the time, that they're just like sick of repeating themselves, and they end up feeling really resentful and really angry. And so what I want to help you with is how to stop doing that. And how you stop doing that is by taking on the mantra of zipping your lip, right? Like, it's time to just zip your lip and not repeat yourself, which is hard to do. But the reason that it's hard to do it is because when you decide that you're going to zip your lip, like, that's the common advice, right? Like, just zip your lip. What happens is that your kids double down on what they want or on what they're doing, because that's their way of trying to get what they want. Once you've said no, they're doubling down on getting it their way, right? And I don't even think of it as being manipulative. I think that's a word that people use, especially with little kids, and it's like they're not being manipulative, they're not being anything, they're just being, and they're trying to get their way. But the minute that we go into a power struggle or a battle of wills with a little kid, especially a challenging one who's very strong-willed, we're going to lose, because they've got 100% of themselves invested in that little thing, whatever that thing is, whatever they want, the ice cream, the toy, the whatever. And we as parents are totally at a disadvantage, because we don't have 100% of ourselves in resolving that situation. We've got a little, maybe 5% of ourselves in resolving that situation, but we've got 95% of ourselves in thinking about the rest of our day and our other responsibilities and the other things that are stressing us out in life and work, and is the babysitter coming on time? Like, we have our thoughts in many, many different places, and they've got 100% of themselves coming at us in that moment, and it's like, oh my gosh. So they can outpower us, and then they start pulling more and more attention from us into that moment. And that's where we start to get angry. And so we start to get angry, and we start repeating ourselves, because what we think mistakenly is that if they're repeating themselves and they're digging their heels in, it means they haven't listened to me and they haven't respected my authority. So I'm going to say it again. I'm just going to say it again until they accept that what I'm saying is truth, or they accept what I'm saying is my authority, till they accept my authority. I'm just going to put a note here. I'm talking about repeating and nagging. So we get stuck in this cycle with our strong-willed kids who are like, hands across the chest, and they're like, no, or I want, whatever it is, 100% of themselves. And we're like maybe at 3% of our capacity of handling that situation, right? But the more that they dig in their heels, the more we repeat ourselves because we just want to be heard. Like, imagine this. If at any point our kid who's saying no dropped their arms and was like, I hear you, Mom. I respect what you're saying. And, I still want it my way, but all right, I'll give in for now. Right. You'd be like, oh, okay. Like, that's so relieving. I can breathe again. I feel awesome. But they're not able to do that. And so they, are going to be testing their own power in that situation, seeing what's going to happen. So two things that I want to caution you against. One is common, what I call conventional wisdom, which is like conventional parenting wisdom is not what I teach, because conventional parenting wisdom, first of all, most of the time sucks and it's very old school. And the other thing that happens is that with challenging kids, stuff that works for easy kids is just not going to work. So conventional wisdom will tell you to ignore your child when they're asking, right? So ignore them. Don't repeat yourself. You should ignore them. That should be your strategy. And I'm just going to flip the switch or flip the script for a second and ask you, how would you feel if you were asking somebody again and again and again for something and they just ignored you? How would that feel to you? Well, I know I've got a few people here. I'm going to ask you to chime in and tell me, how would that feel if somebody just flat out ignored you? Somebody who you thought could help you, somebody who you thought could provide the actual solution to the problem that you were having. How would you feel if they were ignoring you? I will go out on a limb and I will say angry, and resentful, and unheard and disrespected. So now you're looking at why your child is repeating themselves, and your child's repeating themselves because they're feeling unheard, disrespected, and unvaluable, invaluable, unvalued. That's a word, right? So in ignoring kids, we create more anger, and they are going to double down on what they want. And what happens also is that, I've got other people coming in. Hello, everybody. Okay. I wish I could tell you what I forgot to write what the topic was, but I'll get to that later. So there's that. So there's the ignoring advice. And then the other advice is to just not say it again, to stop repeating yourself. But again, what happens when you stop repeating yourself is that your child feels unheard and disrespected and is going to come at you even stronger. So a different approach to this is going to be learning how to make them feel heard, to make yourself feel heard, right? And there are lots of ways to do that. You can write them, you can write down what you want to say and you can just hand it to them if they're old enough to do it. You can have hand signals, you can have, a catchphrase. These are all techniques that I teach. You can, I was just talking to a client today about how to stop repeating. She said, I just keep repeating myself. And I said, what if you just start repeating the phrase, I'm here for you if you need me, like for help, and you just say that. This was a slightly different situation. But she was frustrated with her teenager, who's unmotivated to do anything. And so she found herself repeating and repeating and repeating herself, saying, why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? And he's just tuning her out. And I just suggested, what if the only thing that you're repeating is, I'm here for you if you need me and I love you, right? He's older and it's it's kind of a different situation. But I just want to show you how this can apply to all ages and different situations. When you find yourself nagging or repeating, it's not necessary to do, and it will absolutely drive parents batty and make them really resentful because they'll feel disrespected. So I want to encourage you to find alternate ways to handle yourself when you're feeling like you're nagging and repeating. So I hope that that helps you guys today. I hope that it makes you feel less alone in your parenting and on your parenting journey. And I'm here for you. Please go ahead and book a call if you want to talk more about what's going on with your parenting child, your challenging child, parenting your challenging child, and you're looking for a new way to do it so that you can feel awesome. I am here for you, and I hope that we get to talk soon. See you next time.